We would like to thank our sponsors, Getaway Today. Use Getaway Today for all of your vacation planning needs. You'll get exclusive perks, great discounts, and the best customer service. Most importantly, their services are always free and easy, from experienced and passionate agents who love to make your vacation dreams come true. Head on over to getawaytoday.com from the link in our show notes to see their exclusive deals, and you can call 855-GETAWAY and let them know Walt's Apartment sent you to start planning your next vacation today.
There was an idea. The idea was to bring together a group of remarkable people, see if they could become something more.
I have an army. We have a Hulk.
This is the Marvel Tribe, brought to you by Walt's Apartment Podcast and the DisInsider.
Avengers!
Assemble.
Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Marvel Tribe, brought to you by Walt's Apartment Podcast and the DisInsider. I'm Sam, and we have our very own Blurred Hulk David with us tonight, of course. How's it going, David?
Oh, fantastic. It's been a great, well, actually, it's been a week, and it's only Monday.
I did tell you that before. I was like, David, it's only Monday.
It's only Monday, yes.
But we're in the happiest place we can be on a Monday night right now.
Absolutely.
We also have our friends let me take that back a second. We also have our friends Barry and Bill from the EarB&B Disney Podcast joining us tonight. How are you guys?
Doing well.
Oh, sorry, Barry and Bill unexpectedly dropped from the podcast. No, I'm just kidding. Shawn is running a little bit late. Hopefully he'll get to join us soon. Our big conversation of the night is going to be WandaVision episode 5. There's a little bit of Marvel news that we can talk about this week. David, do you want to take the first one, talk about the trailer a little bit?
So for those of you who got to watch the I don't know if it was amazing, because I'll be honest, I didn't really watch it. The Super Bowl yesterday, Disney released a new trailer for the Falcon and Winter Soldier. Now, I have to say, I have to offer an apology to any of the fans of the Marvel Tribe here, because I, who love all things Marvel, has, due to family and just being busy, I was unable to watch the trailer. But I do have it queued up, and I'm actually going to watch it immediately following the show. But I hear there's some new footage. They're adding they're fleshing out a little bit more of what the storyline is. Barry, Bill, did you guys see it? You guys got any input on the new trailer?
Yeah, just seeing the sparring that goes on between the two characters there was very funny. Just they have kind of a love-hate relationship, and I'm looking forward to seeing that play out.
I think that we're buddy cop kind of situation.
Yep.
They don't have enough patience to deal with each other, and they haven't really established their relationship as partners. So I think that's something that we're going to see come into play, is they're going to build that relationship out more, because it looks like when the movie starts, they are going to annoy the hell out of each other. They're not going to work like a team, and it's going to cause a little bit of chaos until they learn to work together.
I was impressed with some of the special effects that they had in the trailer, because in WandaVision you can tell it's sometimes it's a little wonky, like when she was putting the wall back together. At one point, it looked a little too cartoonish. This actually special effects look impressive.
Well, it should. I hope so. It should. This is supposed to be their action thriller mystery. So it's supposed to be in the kind of the guise of like a 24-hour Jason Bourne. Sorry. So so I'm hoping it should have that kind of feel to it, and it sounds like it does. I could never get tired of the buddy cop or the dueling cop trope and stuff. Like people say like, "Oh, I've seen it before." I don't care. Bring them. I would have watched Rush Hour if they made 20.
Yes.
I mean, I love the dueling personalities and stuff. It just kind of adds to that because it kind of takes main stage. So I'm here for it. I can't wait to see it.
And we are going to get that on March 19th on Disney Plus. So not too far away. It's 2 weeks, I believe, after the last episode of WandaVision for the season. Yep. Other news, speaking of WandaVision, Kat Dennings has said that she has been working on some other mystery projects in the MCU. Of course, she's not going to tell us what that is, but we are going to see more of Dr. Darcy Lewis, and I am here for it.
Absolutely.
She's stealing the show right now.
Yeah, I think with Thor, Love and Thunder filming right now, there's a pretty good chance we will see her again in that. And I would love to see, and I think we talked about this a little bit, love to see a Jimmy Woo and Darcy 2 show where they go around and myth bust or solve.
They're like Criminal Minds, yeah.
Yeah, Criminal Minds or the X-Files or anything along those lines.
So fun fact, and this is actually a fact, there's a prominent director, and I can't remember the guy's name, who's a fan of WandaVision and a fan of Marvel, saw the meme about making a Jimmy Woo kind of X-File, and he said this weekend he wrote up a treatment, and he got a pitch meeting to pitch his treatment and stuff for it. So he's and not only that, Jimmy Woo actually commented on this tweet saying, "I would be happy to do something like that." So we'll see. The fans is leading the charge on this. They want to see it. So give us what we want, Disney.
Yeah, Disney.
A little bit more news. The Turkish Minister of Culture and Travel of Tourism kind of accidentally leaked that they are filming Ant-Man and the Wasp in Turkey right now. He wasn't supposed to tell everybody yet, but yep, they're doing it. That's an oops.
Cool beans.
Oh, that is good. We're kind of slowly taking little baby steps towards a sense of normalcy, and I'm all for it. Every step counts and stuff, and who knows? By this time next year, we would have forgotten about this whole weird pandemic. Like, what? The cold? What? Nah.
Yeah, what's a mask? I would love that. I would love that.
I think I said that, though. I think I said that last April. I said, this will probably be just 2 weeks and it'll be good.
It's
all good. Well, yeah. That's what I was saying.
So I did hear my 17-year-old. He actually said, "I'm going to start collecting some of these masks because I think if eBay is a thing in 20 years from now, these would be a collector's item. Some of these would be collector items and stuff like memorabilia from history." And that made me feel pretty old and stuff because 20 years from now and eBay and all that. But yeah, he's hopefully he's right. 20 years from now, they're not wearing a new type of mask because. This hasn't.
Oh, you mean like the ones at the Super Bowl last night halftime show?
I'd wear that, a jockstrap mask. I would actually wear that.
Of course you would.
I would actually wear any mask. I'm no shame anymore. I don't care.
Yeah. Now back to Ant-Man. Do we know much about that as far as any of the plot points, anything along those lines? I haven't read much about it, so I'm curious as far as where they go.
I know one of the villains they already released because they talked about the casting. It will be King the Conqueror. For those who don't know, he is a very, very powerful multiverse. So we're going to definitely see the multiverse in here. King the Conqueror is the great descendant of Reed Richards, who is of the Fantastic Four, and he is actually they're going to have to lessen his power because in the comic books he's very OP to be in the Marvel universe and stuff. But he's genius level intellect. That is higher than Doom, master strategist. He's a force to be reckoned with, and I see him intertwining with some of the other phase 4 movies that they're going to be putting out. So he's not going to be, I guarantee he won't be relegated to just Ant-Man and the Wasp. It will be kind of setting up some other pieces and stuff. But so far, that's kind of all we got. I'm trying to remember the name of the guy who got cast for King the Conqueror, but I can't.
So he'll be kind of the next Thanos in a sense.
Oh, much bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yes. I would love to see that battle. But
Jonathan Majors.
Thank you. Yes, Jonathan Majors. He came off of doing a big success with the HBO show. Can't even remember. It was a horror. H.P. Lovecraft Country. So he came off of the success of that, and he's a new up and comer, and yeah, they cast him, and he got it, and that's we'll see what they make of that storyline.
Yeah, they've kept it pretty under wraps, though. All right, you guys ready to move on to the main course?
To the taters?
Yeah. So we're talking episode 5 of WandaVision. I'm going to do just a quick run through of what happened, and then we will go scene by scene and dissect and let y'all know what we think. So this episode opened with the twins crying and Wanda and Vision trying to console them. Wanda tried to use her magic to put them to sleep, and that didn't work. Wanda, she says, maybe we just need some help. And knock, 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 here's Agnes. She shows up and offers to help, and Vision is very hesitant to accept her help. Then we get this weird scene where Agnes acts like she's an actor cast in a show and asks Wanda if she should take it from the top. Wanda acts clueless, and Vision starts asking a bunch of questions. Wanda deflects like nothing has happened. The babies suddenly quiet down, and they go over to the crib, and the cribs are empty. And the kids are suddenly like 5 years old behind them. And, of course, Agnes isn't fazed by this at all. Monica is back outside the perimeter at the sword camp, recounting her experience with Wanda and explaining how it felt like drowning in grief to be under the mind control. They are doing a physical evaluation on her, and her scans are empty, and her blood draw is inconclusive. We see Sword having a briefing, and they're calling Wanda the principal victimizer, and they're talking about Wanda and Pietro and telling how Wanda got her powers, working with the Mind Stone. Hayward brings up Lagos in Germany and calls her a terrorist. Monica tries to defend that she's not a terrorist. They show a video of Wanda busting into a sword facility to take Vision's body, which, let's talk. I can't wait to get into that one.
Yes.
Then we're back at the house, and cue the boys washing a puppy in the sink, and Wanda comes in and finds the puppy. The boys are asking to keep him. Of course, they all fall in love with the puppy. Vision makes a comment that they might have a visitor bringing just what they need in a moment, and in pops Agnes with the doghouse. They name the dog Sparky, and then Wanda actually uses magic in front of Agnes to make a dog collar. Vision questions that, and Wanda basically shrugs him off about it again. She tells Vision that she's tired of hiding and that maybe he doesn't have to hide either. And then they tell the boys that they have to be 10 in order to keep the dog. And all of a sudden, the boys are 10. Oh, Shawn has just joined us. Hi, Shawn.
Hi, everyone. How are you guys?
We're good. We're just recapping.
And you are late. What?
I'm sorry.
Shawn,
Okay.
the most important thing you missed was this.
Okay. Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Oh, geez.
We're
Okay.
in the middle of our recap. Go ahead, Sam.
Okay.
Then Darcy, Monica, and Jimmy Woo are putting all the puzzle pieces together. They're trying to figure it out. Monica says she knows an aerospace engineer that they can call for help. They start calling the force field a hex, and Monica says that she would go back in, and they're speculating about her power, and Captain Marvel gets brought up, and Monica gets real weird about it and changes the subject. They then realize Monica's pants are now Kevlar and that Wanda is rewriting reality. That's what they're saying. So they're going to send in something that requires no change. We'll get to that in a second. But Norm and Vision are at the office, and he's teaching Norm how to use the computer, and they get communication from Sword about the Maximoff anomaly, and Vision basically unblocks Norm's head, who starts freaking out about someone being in his head and saying it hurts and telling Vision he needs to stop her. Then to make it stop because he's having this panic attack, Vision basically reblocks him. Wanda is having a conversation about family with the boys, and they're asking about Pietro, and they're interrupted by an old drone. And Monica tries to talk to Wanda, and Wanda gets her scarlety, glowy eyes. She gets big mad. Haywood secretly had the drone armed, and they take a shot at Wanda. Then there's a border breach at the sword camp, and Wanda walks out of the hex with her drone. With her Sokovian accent, she says, this is yours. She warns them to stay out of her home. Monica tries talking to her down, negotiating. And Wanda says, I have what I want, and no one will ever take it from me again. And she pulls a Magneto and redirects all of the guns at Haywood. Then we get a Lagos brand commercial, and the caption for that was, for when you make a mess you didn't mean to. Then we see the boys looking for Sparky, and the mailman says, your mom won't let him get far. Then they see Agnes with their dead puppy. She says he ate her azalea bushes, and Wanda has to convince the boys not to age up to avoid the grief of losing a pet. And they say, you can fix anything, Mom. Fix dead. And she says, no. And Agnes is like, you can do that? She's telling the boys that there are rules we have to follow, and Vision comes up and realizes what's happened, and he's consoling the boys. Cue to that night, Vision and Wanda start arguing because he admits that he unearthed Norm's suppressed personality and spoke to him free of Wanda's oversight, and Wanda's changing the subject, and Vision's like, you can't control me like you control them, and Wanda's like, oh, I can't, and she scrolls the credits because that's a sassy move. They're arguing. He's asking questions. What's outside of Westview? Why aren't there any children? And Wanda is just like, just be happy. Just be here with me. Isn't this enough? And they start talking, and the doorbell rings, and it's Pietro. Not the Marvel Pietro, but we could talk about that later. And then Darcy surprisingly says, did she recast Pietro? And then my favorite line, who's the popsicle?
Right.
That is how Pietro addresses Vision. Who's the popsicle?
Hey, who's the popsicle?
His famous accent.
There was a lot that happened in that episode.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, there was. Oh, man. So, where do we started with them trying to put the twins down to sleep and stuff. So there's a part of me was like, okay, so when Division is definitely putting something together. So he's absolutely right about not being under her control, but he is, from what he said, his memory kind of starts right when Westview begins. That's kind of, he still has all the intelligence and ability to compute, and understands that him and his wife, they have powers, and they're trying to, do the bewitch scheme, hide it from everybody. So he understands that, parallel, but everything else is kind of like, brand new baby boy and stuff. And so he's going through kind of the gambit of the emotions and everything and stuff, with being scared and not sure what's going on. You're not following, what we talked about. Like it's interesting to see Vision kind of develop, because this is not the same. We know this is not the same Vision personality wise as it's been in the past.
Right. And Wanda points that out at the end. She said, you've never yelled at me like this, or you've never spoke to me like this. And he's like, I don't know who I am. Let's talk about Wanda's magic not working on the babies. What do you think that's about? Do you think that goes back to like it because they're real, she can't control them?
I think they're protected.
Yes, that's a good answer. Yeah, that makes sense.
It's the best way to describe that, because really, okay, I think it's safe, but maybe not. But it's safe to assume that Vision is not really Mr. Baby Daddy. If we went on Maury, the results would not come back in his favor. Whoever is the daddy has some kind of protection around his twins. That's all.
Shawn's the daddy.
Oh wow.
Shawn wishes.
Yes, but
so then,
did you notice that the babies laughed at her too? They kind of chuckled at her too when she couldn't get her magic to work. I thought that was just like the stork.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I thought that was kind of funny, you know. Yep. But they're little kids too. They're little babies too. So, you know, hi Barry. I didn't even get a chance to say hi to you, buddy.
Hey, what's happening?
So what about the whole Agnes scene where she's like, do you want me to take it from the top? And like, what are we making of that? 'Cause
I have different thoughts on that.
That messed me up.
I think that. Oh, go ahead, David. I'm sorry.
Oh no. Go ahead. Go.
I think I've watched a lot of stuff trying to explain this and stuff, and who Agnes is and how she could actually be controlling everything, and the fact that she's doing this just to make it look like even Wanda's more in charge. And I think that she would, if she knows that Monica said it's all Wanda, then Agnes is going to be like, well, let's play along and say it is all Wanda. So I'm completely off the radar and it's all back on Wanda, looking like she's making every decision, and that's kind of what I think she's doing. I think Agnes might be better than we all think as well. So that's, you know,
I won't dispute that.
Right.
I was going to agree. I think that was a purposeful misdirect by the Great Witch herself.
Yep.
So, and that was strictly for the benefit of Vision to see that.
Yep. And just to raise more doubt.
Exactly.
Because they already started planting that doubt when they had that conversation outside the day that the twins were born. Without giving him any actual information, they just planted some seeds.
Any thoughts, Barry?
Well, I wanted to go back to Vision real quick because what David said earlier, him as a character, I like a lot better in this series than I did in the movies. I kind of feel for him a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like he's like a helpless type of feeling. And I never really cared for him in the movies. He was always very robotic.
Yeah.
But they've kind of given him
he's very real.
Yeah, more human characteristics. And I think that was purposeful for the TV show, you know?
And that is so surprising to me because if they were going to be true to the comics, like he would become completely emotionless. If we're going with like M Day and stuff, like and that leading up to M Day, that's part of what drove Wanda mad was he had no emotion. But we're seeing so much emotion from him, and we're seeing anger and frustration and annoyance, and I love it. I'm here for Vision.
Absolutely. I love this version of Vision. He, like you said, he was kind of robotic and emotionless. I mean, we all saw what the part where in Infinity, or where she basically drove him through like several floors and stuff when Hawkeye came to get her, and he was just like, he didn't get angry or anything with that and stuff. He's just like, you shouldn't be doing this and stuff. This Vision we see is he has some depth to him and stuff, and the personality to boot. And like you said, I like him. Like I would be this Vision's buddy. Like he seems kind of like a cool weirdo guy to hang out with.
So we're Team Vision.
What about Agnes using her powers in front of Wanda? Or what about Wanda using her powers in front of Agnes? Now, why is she not concealing it like she was?
So,
I know I'm hitting heavy questions tonight.
That's great questions and stuff. Like I think there's this kind of Vision hit on, and he gave Wanda an excuse when he said, "You probably don't know how this started, but now you have to acknowledge that something's going on and stuff." And I think as she's starting to realize that, how do I say this? I want to believe that she known Agnes is a part of this whole time, and she's at the point where she knows, like, and she doesn't really care. Like she's like, you're in on this because you're not reacting like any of the other people and stuff. So it doesn't matter if I do this because you're not going to break character. You're not going to, it's completely okay. It's like, it's like Agnes is Wanda's safe zone, basically. Now, Vision sees everyone as the same. Like he's starting to piece things together, but he doesn't see, Agnes as the same thing as her. So I think Wanda is like, yeah, Agnes is a safe zone, kind of a side, whatever and stuff, and I can do my magic in front of her. It's fine.
I feel like Vision actually thinks that Wanda is controlling Agnes because whenever Wanda wants to write something, Agnes shows up.
Oh yeah,
but I kind of think that it's the opposite. Anytime the plot moves forward, notice Agnes is there, and
she's definitely aging the boys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but I think that they have it presented where Vision thinks that Wanda is controlling Agnes, but I totally think Agnes is being bossy with the boys. She's every time the boys need to grow up, she's like forcing the boys to grow up.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
She killed their dog.
Yeah, you're not going to convince me anything else and stuff. She absolutely sacrificed that dog and stuff.
Or Sparky.
I like Sniffy better.
Well, let's talk about why it's Sparky though, because there's a synthezoid dog named Sparky in the Vision storyline.
So in the Vision storyline where he created his own synthezoid family and stuff, which included children, a wife, and a green dog called Sparky. So this is a really cool ode to that. I'm glad they didn't make the dog green because I don't know how you explain that and work that into the series, but it definitely was a pretty cool little tribute and stuff to that.
I thought maybe that might present us with another Grim Reaper connection too, because we've been finding a few little here and there connections to the Grim Reaper, and Grim Reaper is why Sparky had to be created because he kind of messed up Vision's household and put some turmoil into it. So to make everybody feel better, Vision created Sparky.
Huh.
So can I just say this? Okay, so we're on episode 5. I'm gonna feel incredibly, how do you say, humble pie or whatever if we don't get Mephisto or Grim Reaper in this.
Oh wow!
I'm saying this because it's episode 5, and I assumed we would get more stronger hints of Mephisto presence or the Grim Reaper, and I'm not saying these aren't really like good like directional thing, but for me the hints would be one that fans who aren't fans of comic books would be able to be like, oh yeah, I think there is that. And it's always the fans who are fans of comic books who are saying, yeah, there's a Mephisto, and I blame myself for that too. I got my hands up saying,
we do that.
God.
We all do that. We're kind of crazy, like conspiracy theorists when it comes to Marvel. But yeah, I do feel like it's dying out. Even like the Mephisto references are dying out.
Well, I think that's done by design, though. I
hope so.
Yeah.
But it hurts my heart because I'm like, I thought I knew what was happening.
I did
Bill
too.
Berry, any thoughts on that?
None. Sorry.
I've got a lot of thoughts, not necessarily relating back to Mephisto or the Grim Reaper, but a whole lot of other things going on in this episode.
So let's move on then. You ready to move on?
Yeah, I am if you guys are.
Yeah, let's jump around. Let's do it.
Right.
One of the things that I thought was really cool was, and I think a lot of people miss this, in the episode when Jimmy Woo is up talking and he goes back over to talk to Darcy, and he's like, I don't like to speak ill of people. And Darcy says, then allow me. Haywood is And
terrorist.
as she starts to say dick, they cut back, and I can say that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Dick. Sorry, that was
It's
blatant.
fine.
So she says, as she starts to say that, they cut back over to Haywood, who is saying the word terrorists.
Saying Wanda is a terrorist.
Which I think was a pretty cool kind of moment. And do you think that is what's happening here? That Haywood is indeed one of the big bad guys in this?
I absolutely think so. I
Definitely.
think 100%. I think he's the bad on the outside, and there's someone on the inside that's the bad that's working together to control this whole thing. That's my thought. I just don't know who's on the inside. And maybe it's who was introduced at the end of the episode or not. I don't know. Or Agnes. Maybe it's Agnes's picture. Or Dottie, who we haven't seen for a couple episodes.
Maybe it's Wanda, though. Maybe it's Wanda.
No.
Maybe it's Herb.
It could
Herb
be
is
Herb.
the key to Herb is the key to all this.
Or Norm.
Yeah. I mean, could it be Herb? When Norm was saying
Who's Ralph?
her,
I mean,
could he have been saying Herb?
Oh, stop it.
We'll find out in WandaVision.
oh,
Oh my
geez.
God. You stop that right now.
Yeah, no, I do love that the back and forth though with Hayward and Wu about Wanda and just how Wu is definitely giving a very fair accounting and a real accounting of what's happening, and Hayward is determined to paint a picture. And you see that setup because it's important, because when he shows the video, it's kind of like, don't believe your lying eyes and stuff, because he shows a video while he's painting a narrative about that video and what's happening and stuff.
Did anybody else zoom in on the video?
Yeah, it's really weird.
Yeah.
The video is really, really weird.
Why is Vision in pieces?
Exactly.
Yeah. They one of the things they said, and one of the things Vision said, is he didn't want to become some sort of weapon.
Right.
My theory on this is that Wanda didn't break in to just steal as much as to rescue. She knew something was going wrong, and she made it her point to go and take him and get him out of there to protect him. And that is a big reason why Haywood is on the case, to get Vision back for whatever evil things they want to do, to create their own Ultron or something along those lines.
Well, and also think about this too. Like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Sam.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
It's the incentive to paint Wanda as a bad guy is that much greater if they are absolutely trying to build a weapon using Vision. I mean, the dude is a vibranium walking artificial intelligent Megatron. So using him, and the reason why he's in those pieces and stuff is absolutely, it makes sense that he would do everything in his power to shut up the one person who knows what they are doing and stuff. And this is why I think he took a shot at her with the drone missile and everything else. Like, he really, he was not trying to capture Wanda. He's not even trying to figure out.
He wants her dead.
He wants her dead, basically. Sword and also what kind of threw me for a loop was him having to get permission from somebody to show that video. I'm like, you're the director or acting director of one of the biggest organizations on the planet and stuff, and who are you calling to get permission to show your little group and stuff of this footage and stuff?
So who do you think he might be working for that would want Vision as a weapon? Because Sword's not going to turn Vision into a weapon.
The Sword under his command.
Well, yeah, but too, like, isn't it weird that he stopped sending people into space?
I have a couple of questions about that whole scene, about her walking in and taking him. He died at Infinity War, correct?
He died in Infinity War,
Right,
and he
right.
died again in Endgame. Right?
He died again in Endgame.
No,
He wasn't.
No, Infinity War, he dies twice.
Yeah,
Okay,
in the
okay.
Wakanda jungle.
So
Yeah.
they do the snap, and everything is gone for 5 years. Correct? I mean, everyone's basically it's a 5-year timeline.
Well,
So
not
you're
everyone, but half of everyone. Yeah,
right? But you're trying to. Well, Wanda was gone for 5 years
Yes.
because she was snapped. So
and
my
Monica.
question-
Yeah,
and Monica. So my question is so in this 3-week period after the Hulk snap, which brought everyone back, all they've done with Vision in 5 years was just tear him apart and do nothing else with him. That's why I think that whole video is fabricated. I don't think that even happened. I think he fabricated that to, like you guys said, to make her look like the bad person. But I think they could figure out weaponizing him in 5 years. Because that's the timeline we're talking about is 5 years. And I don't get why it would take that long. There's a Sword who's this huge agency, like David said. So that's my thought. I don't get what it takes so long to do.
I'll tell you why. The same reason why all of the Tony Stark's competition can beat him. They don't have a Stark or a Shuri on their team and stuff. And it was fair. Those two. I mean, those two. That is their superpowers, that genius and stuff. And don't get me wrong, we've seen plenty of competition against Tony Stark. They're trying to build a robot better and a better suit military, and they just couldn't do it. They didn't have what Stark has, and no one has what Wakanda has and stuff.
Oh, right. Shuri is amazing,
and no one has the Mind Stone. You know that I mean, the reality is to try to rebuild Vision and try to turn him into something more. They didn't have all of the pieces. So I can see it definitely taking 5 years of dissecting and taking everything apart and trying to put it back together and failing. And that, if you think about back to the age of Ultron, and the number of times that Bruce and Tony failed while trying to make Ultron.
So that would kind of explain why Wanda could bring him back to life too, because Wanda was standing there with Shuri when she was taking him apart and watched everything. She was watching everything that she was doing. She actually had the stone almost removed, obviously, as well, right? So, I mean, Wanda could have said, "Okay, this is how she did it. Maybe she did bring him back to life."
So do you think we could get like a Shuri flashback? Because that would be awesome.
I hope so. I think it'd be kind of. So all we know right now is at some point in that 5-year history, Sword took possession of Vision's body. They had to. I mean, Wakanda had his body. He's dead. He was dead in Wakanda's jungle battlefield and stuff. Some piece of that missing storyline on how, which could be important or could be important for another phase. But I would like to see it unfold in WandaVision. So I hope there's a good piece there. So
if they give me this Shuri connection, I will be happy because it just further pushes along my plan to intertwine Wakanda and WandaVision. I'm not going to call it WakandaVision, but
Bill and Barry will. It's okay.
Here's the thing. When she said she wanted an aerospace engineer, there are a few people she could bring back. I personally hope she brings back Sue. So if she does bring back Sue, do we know who Sue was in a relationship with at one point? Someone who I said that they're going to bring into the new Black Panther.
Me and Barry don't know, so tell us.
Namor this. Okay, Namor.
I got you, Barry.
Namor the Submariner. So I keep saying he's going to come back in Black Panther and he's going to bring Killmonger back to life or pull him out of the ocean.
Yeah.
Give me Sue. Make the Namor connection. Give me Shuri. Just put it all together for me and make me a happy camper. I know it's not going to happen, but a girl can dream.
You never know what could happen.
Yeah. We're only in episode 5. We got 4 more episodes, and I think these are going to be very telling and revealing and stuff. I mean, we still have our big battle, which I mean, I don't know what's going to unfold and stuff. Like I'm rooting for the engineer. I want it to be. I want it to be one of the next characters in the Marvel universe. So if it's whether it be a new one, So whether it's Sue Storm, or what's that? Who did I say? Blue Marvel. So Adam Bashir.
Yeah, Blue Marvel.
Bashir, yeah.
Which they have to greatly power him down because he's a little OP for MCU. But yes, I mean he's also an engineer as well too.
Ironheart.
Yeah. So Riri. Yeah. She's definitely a really talented genius level engineer and stuff. And so is Shuri. I mean, I don't know how. Well, there wasn't really big connection with Shuri and Monica because she got snapped, and they didn't have time to actually meet. Because Wakanda's very isolated up until that recent time when they were. So she wouldn't have known Shuri, but
Blue Marvel has the connection though because he's Marine. He's got that military and
very much so.
Obviously anybody from Fantastic Four we're going to have. But I do think at some point we're going to have to see Reed because Monica's going to have to figure out her powers. And right now we're...
about that. You guys think she has her powers?
I think that they're growing. It's weird that since when do superheroes just not have anything on a scan? Is that normal?
Right.
Well, if you're a spectrum of light.
Well, that's right.
Yeah,
she's photon. So you could just go right through her. Holy cow.
I mean, yeah, it depends on the superhero.
Oh, did you get the photon reference too? She's describing everything and she's like, we need a photon. And I was like, we need a photon? Did you just say that? Yes, girl. Yes.
Yes.
That's what I said. I said, yes, girl. Yes.
You did. Stop it.
That's more my speed. Can I just say that the rest of the show? Yes.
Just every time I talk, if you want to say that, Barry, I'm okay with that.
Oh.
Let's talk about that when she steps out. When she steps out of that hex with that Stark Industries droid. Oof.
Oh, that's when she looked the best in the whole series so far.
So that was a badass moment.
Yep.
She was definitely a BAMF in that moment. Now, you guys noticed that she felt no threat walking up to the director Haywood or his henchmen with all the guns pointing at her and stuff. And she just tosses it. But as you guys know, when Monica approached, she felt a threat.
Yep.
And she got that ball, her little chaos magic ball at the ready and stuff. And it wasn't until, she, the back and forth communication and stuff. But I thought it was just telling. I'm like, Wanda, she's a telepath. She knows she can take over people's minds, gives people visions. And Hayward's not a threat. And his henchmen, which, everyone would be shivering. And she just like, yeah, you guys don't do anything for me. But the minute Monica, I thought that was very telling to me. I noticed, I'm like, oh, she really is taking Monica as a threat and stuff here. So.
But then she kind of talked her down too at the same time. Monica walked up and talked her down and said, wait a second.
I'm an ally.
You trusted me to help you deliver your babies and stuff. So which I thought was telling too, because she kind of stopped, and then she flipped her energy towards Hayward when she flipped you call it the Magneto moment, but what
Oh yes, it was.
It was
totally a Magneto moment.
That was.
But I didn't take it as she thought of her as a threat. In my mind, it was just her being angry, because that is what took her out of the show more than anything. I think
that's true.
Seen.
That's a good point.
So to me, it was just like oh, you again, kind of like blood boiling. So I didn't take it as a threat. I took it as just anger.
Yep.
But Monica had said she wasn't trying to hurt me. She was trying to protect me. She knew this about Wanda, and Wanda probably knew she was shielding her. She was kicking her out, but she wasn't trying to kill her. I don't think, at least. So
makes her good.
I think, do not get me started, because if you want to get into this, we will. But
okay.
But I think it was when Monica/Geraldine stepped towards her. I feel she felt threatened, because when she was just standing back and she's like, "Oh, you again?" She didn't. It was as soon as she stepped forward, she was like, "Nope." She's got to protect her babies. She's a PO'd mama, and you shot at her when she was with her kids, and she's gonna come for you.
Did he really think shoot at her was gonna work? Did he just know he was gonna piss her off? I mean,
that's the thing. I think that was designed to show how much Hayward really wants. He's not interested in figuring this out. He wants her dead. That's his only objective. That's why he didn't, and he knew he couldn't tell. I mean, why would you hide that from Monica? Why if, he had an alternative motive than what Sword wanted to do. This was his own personal agenda and stuff. Oh, yeah.
He's a bad guy.
Definitely. Oh yeah.
Or he's being made to look like one, or he's being made to look like one, and someone else is controlling him.
Yeah, I think it's still a little too obvious. He's too obvious of a bad guy. I think it's another.
I can't take any more twists and turns.
I know, right? It's every time you think you know who the bad guy is. Nope, but now it's this guy. But
yeah, I think he is a bad guy,
so?
and one of the things that I keep going back to, and I know you guys laughed at it when I brought it up before, but his title of director.
Oh no, I think it is.
He could very well be behind a lot of the directing that is going on inside the show as well.
Absolutely. I absolutely agree. I don't disagree with that.
So I had a friend ask me a question. Maybe you guys have some input on this. They were saying that the Hex is too far, or is too much power for one person, one superhuman, to keep up themselves. Do you think that's the case?
No.
Like, would Wanda need her, or would Scarlet Witch need her Omega level powers to do that?
She has Agnes helping her, I think.
So think for one person. So it's a weird way to answer this, but so there's a 5-mile radius. There's 3,000 people that was in the supposedly hijacked town. All are mind controlled into playing a particular role and stuff in this. The people on the outside, not only the people inside the barrier, but the people like, you said the missing witness, protective witness person, their family and friends who lives on the West Coast where Jimmy's from, they don't even remember who that person is. And stuff. So to have that reach.
But when you're done with this, will you tell us who you think the missing person is?
No.
Oh,
yes.
No. It's a dumb guess. It's really outside the
I like it though
and stuff. But so I think it's Wanda Omega powered Wanda. No, absolutely, she can absolutely. I mean, this girl can absolutely destroy and create universes and stuff. Not too much. I mean, she absolutely in the comic books wiped out almost every mutant life on the the powers on the planet and stuff. So
that was M-Day, right?
Yeah. So it's not too hard. Yeah. So when they're trying to convince her that her twins are and she's like, no more mutants. When she's at that level of praise, I call it, then she can absolutely be doing this, but she's not there. So I don't think she is absolutely doing this on her own, or maybe she's not. I mean, there's some other sources working in tangent and stuff with this and stuff.
Not to be annoying, but after M-Day, when she destroys everything, do you know who the first mutant is that's named? It's Namor. See, keep coming back to Namor. I'm obsessed right now with the Submariner.
I hope for you it works out, because you can be really disappointed if it doesn't.
Well, it's not even a normal likelihood, but I just want it.
Where is Jimmy from on the West Coast? Did he say Bakersfield or Oakland?
Oakland.
Okay, didn't the Black Panther set up shop there after Black Panther in Oakland? That's where it was based, right? So you think someone that's missing it can be from Wakanda?
No, because Wakandans
you always shoot me down.
They know how to. I'm not shooting you down.
I'm just kidding with you.
I'm not shooting you down. I'm just telling you no.
Wakandans have a way better system for tracking their own people, and they would never rely on the FBI's protective services to protect one of their own.
Who is it, David? Who do you think it is?
So it could be a character from Ant-Man and stuff. It could be Luis. Stuff, who I hope it is.
That is not what you told me.
I don't know what I told you a lot of different theories and stuff.
You said it might be the mailman.
Oh, yes. Okay, so yes, I did go off on this theory. It could be the mailman. Think about when people go into the hex and stuff and they kind of revert into familiar things that's fitting for that time. Well, the mailman is the deliverer, he's the protector of information, and he's a, federal government agent and stuff. So best person who's, for that person to be is the mailman and stuff.
Did you think it was weird? Did you guys think it was weird the way he said, your mom won't let him get too far? To me, that was like, he said it weird.
Oh yeah, no, that was done purposely.
Yeah, it was very sitcom-y, almost like it reflected back to the early days of sitcom, like the old black and white perfect world type thing.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely got that, but I just feel the way he emphasized mom was weird. What about the Lagos commercial?
I thought it was funny. Because of what he was talking about, I thought it was funny. I thought, you represent Lagos when you make a big mistake, and obviously she blew up a town. Wasn't it Lagos that she blew up on accident?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought it was hilarious. And we even dived into Bill's freaking theory about all this.
I know. That's where I'm going next. Bill, you have an amazing theory about the commercials.
Well, it isn't mine. I'm not going to take credit for it. I saw it on Twitter.
That's yours. Take it.
So, yeah, sure. This is all me. I thought this up on my own. So the commercials serve two purposes. And one that I think we've all talked about all along, which each one of them is a tragic moment from Wanda's life.
Mm-hmm.
But on top of that, we have seen 4 commercials thus far. And this theory would mean that there will be a total of 6 commercials. You have the Stark commercial and the toaster.
Mm-hmm.
And if you notice that the toaster looks like a face, and there is a little a circle there where the Mind Stone would be. Now, you think about Strucker and the watch commercial, very much time. You go to the Hydra Soak commercial, and the bar of soap was shaped exactly, or the box for the bar of the soap was shaped just like the Tesseract, which is the Space Stone. Lagos brings up a whole lot of reality and the Reality Stone. So that leaves 2 other stones, which is the Soul Stone and the Power Stone. So the Infinity Stones coming back into play. Now, I guess, you can say, will Marvel go back to the Infinity Stones again? But I think that there's a real possibility that these represent all of those things. If nothing else, then again, all of these are what turned Wanda's life into what it is. So it makes sense that they're being represented in that way.
Barry, thoughts?
I love that theory. Go ahead, Barry. Sorry.
Why can't they bring it back? I mean, there was like 6 Death Stars in Star Wars. Bring the Infinity Stones back. What the heck?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I have a prediction, and I'm gonna put a little of my reputation on the line here. So I think I know what the next commercial is going to be.
Oh man!
And I shared
first.
I shared with the group, so I'm gonna put it out there in the universe. So the next commercial, and I think it's going to have something to do with what Bill was saying. It's going to reference something about the Soul Stone, and it's going to be we're in the 90s era, early 90s. I think it's going to be something surrounding like a Teddy Ruxpin or a Good Guy's doll, kind of the Chucky. Chucky comes to life and stuff, but maybe Teddy Ruxpin and stuff, just to kind of make the connection. Maybe it's a teddy bear that talks, and it has the Chucky like overalls on her, something with the stripes. That's my prediction. Something in that realm we're going to see.
Wow.
And if we do see that, Marvel, I'm applying for a job next week.
And I'm David's manager, so you guys take me too.
Yes, go through Sam.
Anybody want to say anything else? Barry, do you want to say? Did you want to add something to that?
I wanted to ask something real quick. Do you think Captain Marvel is required viewing to watch WandaVision?
Actually, I think it's helpful.
Yeah.
I think I rewatched it the other day, and there are some actually interesting things that are going on and stuff. You should absolutely watch that.
The reason why I asked that is because I've never seen Captain Marvel.
Oh wow!
So
that doesn't surprise me.
It's the one. Sorry,
you understand more of the connection between Monica and Auntie Carol.
Yeah,
I'll say that.
Yeah, that I didn't get any of that, so I should probably go back and watch it. Is what you're saying?
Yes.
It's the only Marvel movie in this whatever that I actually missed.
And it's good. I think it's a good movie. I think it's a really good movie. It's the first movie I watched to get into Marvel with Chris and David and Andy. I saw Captain Marvel with them. That's when we first started the other podcast, and I'm like, damn, this stuff's cool. I mean, I'd seen Iron Man, but nothing else in between. Any of the Civil War or anything like that. I never seen any of that stuff. So yeah, to answer your question, I think so. Yes. So
for me, there's something about powerful women that I'm just like, yes,
right.
Because I mean, obviously,
and you get that scene in.
I'm gonna go all feminist here and be like, make them all women.
Well, you get that scene in Endgame when all the girls get together, and you're just like, oh, this is badass. They're and why couldn't they do that someday?
Yeah.
And Scarlet Witch is the most powerful in MCU, so let's just whatever the women are doing, just pay attention to it.
So
right?
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna throw a little tiny bit of salt in this because I'm a huge Marvel fan. I love that scene. But when you talk about women empowerment scenes that is made on TV and made for mass consumption, the Mandalorian scene was that they put that together so much better than what they did at Endgame. I'm sorry, it's just the way
I will not argue with it.
It wasn't really organic on that battle. It just wasn't. But then the Mandalorian absolutely was, and I was like, oh my god, yes, I love Cara Dune even more now.
Yeah.
But I just want to say yes, Captain Marvel I think is definitely plays along with this because it not only talks about the relationship, you'll get to see the relationship a young Monica has with her auntie, but you also get to see kind of a sense of who Monica actually is and how she's not a fearful child. She's more of like her aunt than even her mom is like and stuff. And you also get to see a little bit of the interplay about the Skrulls. I think you get to see some of that too with Spider-Man Homecoming, but you really get to kind of see that because that's going to be important. Maybe not so much as in WandaVision, but the Skrulls are here and they already said they're going to be a part of this next phase and stuff. So you get to see kind of all of those different dynamics and stuff play out. So
would the Skrulls would want to stop people from going to space, right?
No, not necessarily.
Would you think they would want to stop people at this point?
So
after all of their wars?
So the Skrulls is really about dominating their parts of the universe and stuff. Not all of them, like they said in the comic books. Yes, the Skrulls are just they're just bad guys and stuff. But in the Marvel universe, they did a good job of splitting them up into factions and stuff. We don't get to see the bad factions yet, but I guarantee you we will. But we got to see what was painted as a bad faction, and then we got to see like, oh, surprise, now Skrulls are bad and stuff. So
that was like my thought with Haywood. It was like, if he's a Skrull, maybe that's why he's stopping sending Sword to space, because he doesn't want anybody else having any power in space.
Well, think about what that is for Sword. I mean, they're really Tony Stark's dream to put that big shield around planet Earth and stuff. And we see it happen. Like Spider-Man Far From Home, is a year-ish or two in front of WandaVision, and we see the space station up there and stuff. So I think we definitely they didn't want to send Sword up into there, but they're there. So there's something that happened, which I think we're going to see here in WandaVision and stuff, and definitely to the demise of Haywood, or whatever Darcy was going to call him. So
the Dick. Does anybody have any other Easter eggs before we move on to Pietro?
Yeah, there are a couple of. Well, I'm not sure if it's necessarily Easter eggs as much as
just ideas.
When Monica was talking to Jimmy Woo about Wanda, and then Captain Marvel came up, and that little moment.
Yep.
Do you think it's as simple as she was here? She didn't check on me. She didn't check on my mom. And my mom is dead, and she didn't even come say goodbye or anything. Is it that simple? Is that what the issue is there, or is there more to that, do you think?
Well, think about it. I think there might be more, because the events of Endgame, that battle when she came back to Earth to help knock out Thanos and stuff, happened within 3 weeks of as soon as she snapped back, Hulk did the snap, Monica came back. Within that 3-week period, she went to Sword. Captain Marvel was on Earth. She battled Thanos and his groups, and then took off and stuff. I think there's more to it than just what happened in that small short 3 weeks. I think there's some history that some gaps in the history that it's going to get filled out for us and stuff.
Yeah,
there's definitely something there.
I definitely think they're going to fill it out for us, because they wouldn't have been so intentional about putting that part in and making her show that she was uncomfortable if they had no intention of filling it out. I think that was done very intentionally.
I think she's going to show up.
I think that would be cool to see.
I think Carol's going to show up and try to help Wanda. That's who they're going to try to maybe have help get her out. If they compared them, like Bill said, they compared them like everyone else does. They compared, who's the strongest and all this stuff. But, why wouldn't Carol come and try to help out and say, hey, and maybe that when in the matter of trying to help, it throws it off into the next movie, into the multiverse and all that stuff. So
which is
maybe maybe the next Captain Marvel is going to come help. She's already trying to help.
Yeah. No, that's true.
I have a hot take.
Go ahead.
Give it to us.
Baby Vision is cuter than Baby Yoda.
Oh.
You are out of your mind.
Wow, you don't think so?
He scared me.
I thought it was funny as hell. It was great.
I think Disney should market Baby Vision just as much as they pushed Baby Yoda. Dolls, meet and greets, whatever you can.
So let me ask you this, Barry. It's 3 a.m. in the morning, and you have to go after. So you go through your hall, you open the door, and you see a little plush Baby Yoda in the middle of your hallway, or you see a little demonic-looking Vision sitting there. Which one are you more scared of?
That's true.
Like toddler Vision standing in my hallway, I would probably lock myself in my room and never come out.
Right.
I'd jump out the window.
I liked the way he was dressed up.
You would.
Yeah,
in that little
I
suit.
thought it was funny. I thought it was very funny. Like I have screenshots of all of those baby pictures because I just loved them.
Oh, I think it's funny, but I don't think Disney should market it. It's not cuter than Baby Yoda. It's not cute. It's funny.
I think like in a packet together or something,
Yeah.
I think it's funny in the sense that Problem Child was funny.
Imagine being in Disney World or Disneyland.
You mean Walt Disney World?
Yeah. And you get to a Baby Vision meet and greet, and they dress a little kid up like that. Wouldn't that be great?
Child labor laws, Barry.
Wow,
I love it. I love
it. I actually would pay to see that. That'd be interesting to see.
No, don't encourage this.
Events.
A little purple
just for special events.
Yeah, like villains nights. To scare small children.
Sam, I've purposely been holding back a theory to find out your reaction to it on this.
Oh boy!
And that is about Wanda having a split personality, kind of like Gollum and Smeagol.
Ooh.
Okay.
I know how you're a fan of Lord of the Rings.
I am. So, are you saying that the boys are her precious?
It could be, but there's the two sides. There's the Wanda that is the happy-go-lucky Wanda, and then there is the Wanda
after
that
trauma.
Just isn't right.
So. Witch.
Are we kind of seeing like a Gollum Smeagol thing going on with Wanda?
Yes, I'm going to say that it very well could be that something broke her. I mean, obviously there are lots of things that happened that could have broken her. But I have been all this whole time like Wanda is in charge. Wanda's doing this. I'm not saying that anymore. I'm saying Wanda knows what's going on. She's still choosing not to stop it, which, I mean, if you're supposed to be working with the Avengers, you're supposed to, do what's right. But there obviously are other, I don't think she started this. So I do think that there was some kind of mind control even played on Wanda, or something happened to where she doesn't remember how this got started. I don't think she started it, but I do think that she's the Scarlet Witch and she could stop it if she wanted to. Yeah, but she's having fun playing house.
She's not making it better for sure. So.
Yeah.
I'll even admit that she's not making this whole thing, this situation any better. So
I actually liked Bill's theory and stuff. And you notice that Hayward did make sure we all know that Scarlet Witch is not a known reference in the MCU.
Right.
She has no funny names, no nothing. So her split personality or her break from reality could be absolutely Wanda Maximoff versus the Scarlet Witch.
Absolutely.
And you have dueling personalities here, to where the Scarlet Witch is the one who booster shot Monica out of the X, because you saw immediately after Wanda looked in horror of what just happened and tried to fix the walls and everything and stuff.
God dang.
Bill, I think you might be onto something.
And I like that because when I watched this episode, I got so upset because I was like, dang it, it's not supposed to be the multiverse yet. Why am I seeing a different Wanda and a Scarlet Witch? Like, why am I seeing both right now? I'm not ready for this yet.
Oh,
but Bill, that's actually a great possibility, is that maybe becoming Scarlet Witch is kind of destroying her. Mm-hmm. Scarlet Witch is destroying Wanda.
Mm-hmm.
Because I did feel like Scarlet Witch or the Wanda that we got outside of the Hex was not the Wanda we had inside of the Hex. I even went as far as to say we had multiple versions and the multiverse had a tear in it. And I don't think that anymore after I've talked to David about it a little bit, but that's a great point, Bill.
Damn,
Good job, buddy.
Yeah. And we saw Scarlet Witch activate when the drone shot the missile at her with her eyes lit up. And that's who walked out. That's who walked out of the Hex. Was the Scarlet Witch.
With we did touch on it being a Stark Industries drone, right?
Well, they had to send in a Stark Industries drone because that was the technology at the time. They had to send in something that didn't need to be changed. It had to be age appropriate for the current time. That was what Monica meant.
That worked out good.
I have a funny little. I'm sorry. I have a funny little Easter egg payoff and stuff that a lot of people I think missed. So you guys know episode 1 when Darcy was asking everybody and their mom for a cup of coffee. No one brought her coffee. You did notice. You remember, you see in this episode 5, Jimmy brings her some coffee.
And how happy he was about it.
Yes, he was. He was very excited.
The giant grin on his face as he was walking in carrying those 3 coffees. I loved it.
She's precious. Why wouldn't you want to make her happy?
You know, it's funny. I did an interview with Ethan from the Wolf and Wookiee podcast, and he asked me 5 women that I would want to go to dinner with, which was you're
cheating on this with other podcasts? What?
He was.
It's cross promotion. Cross promotion.
I'm joking.
No, it was actually about us. So, but I picked Wanda and Darcy. I think because I got to pick 5, and I think Darcy would be cool just to chill with. But speaking of the coffee cup, I saw this one video that said if you notice the coffee cup had the same pattern that is the pattern at the end in the credits.
I zoomed in on it. It was a bunch of hearts.
Oh, was it? Okay.
But I think it was purposeful.
From a glance, it looks like that. Yeah.
I think it was purposeful, part of the design of just kind of. Yeah, I think that it's all part there. It may not mean anything. I don't think it means anything. I think it was just kind of one of those Easter eggy kind of.
Look what we can do.
Yeah.
I did see an interview with is her name Kat Dennings? Is that her name?
Kat Dennings,
yes.
yeah.
Yep. She said that there will be more Darcy after WandaVision.
Yeah, we talked about that just before you came on too, buddy.
Yeah.
You missed it.
All right, pal. All right.
I loved her back from the 40-Year-Old Virgin. I loved her in that. She was the daughter of
oh my
what's
God,
her name?
she was, huh?
Yeah,
yes.
Steve Carell's love interest.
I feel like in Two Broke Girls, they made her so annoying.
Oh, I hate. That's where I was going with that. Is like I loved her in that. I loved the Playlist movie that she was in. I loved most of the stuff that she has done, and then she did Two Broke Girls, and I hated her.
Right,
but she is redeeming herself on this for sure.
Definitely. She's a fan favorite right now. Everybody's saying she should have her series. So, do you guys want to talk about Pietro before we jump into final thoughts?
We got to, yes.
Yeah.
So
who's the popsicle?
Yeah.
So for all the new Marvel fans and stuff, who I mean, I'm sure some of you guys seen X-Men and stuff. This is Pietro from the X-Men universe. Now, with that said, I think it's quite funny that this. I don't think this is the real Quicksilver at all. This is not the real Pietro. This is just my opinion, just not. But a couple of hints to that is the fact that one, the show itself acknowledged that the recastment of Pietro. So that's very purposefully telling what's going on and stuff here. And Wanda was very, kind of taken aback a little bit, and then
hesitant.
Yeah, very hesitant. But in the spirit of playing the role, when he said, "Hey, does this long lost brother?" I forgot what the line was.
Get a hug, yeah.
Yeah, get a hug, and then she's like Pietro, and he does the affirmation nod, and then there you have it.
I think it was important to note, too, that the boys had been asking about if she had siblings earlier in the day, and she's talking about Pietro and how he's so far away, and she misses him, and it makes her sad. And then by the end of that night, we have Pietro, but it's the wrong one. So it's kind of that, like, how Vision keeps saying you ask for something or you have a need for something, and it shows up because, this is a sitcom. And so she says, I miss my brother. Or she didn't even say she directly missed him, It was just in conversation how you would explain things to children when you don't want to explain how muddy everything is.
Yeah.
And here you go. Knock, knock, knock. And I think it's funny she had to point out to Vision that she did not do this.
Do you believe her?
Yes.
Yeah,
okay.
I do.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. Wanda has not lied to us. When she doesn't want to give the correct answer, she deflects and she will refuse to answer it. But, like, take it back to that nursery scene where she's like, oh, I didn't mean to do that. I didn't do this. And she didn't. And she's yet to directly lie to anybody.
That's true.
In the show.
When he asked her and she said, you can't control me. She says, oh, I can't, or oh, can't I? And then she just starts the credits. She rolled the credits on him, just like boom.
Brilliant.
Yeah. And then just
But I love that shows she has control. Yeah. She has some control over this sitcom that we're watching, which means she can rewrite it. She's also choosing not to. And she tells him, why isn't it enough to just be here with us and to be my husband and be Tommy and Billy's father? Why is that not enough? Like, so I think she's having fun playing house, and she knows outside of Westview this can't happen.
Is this Pietro that is in here? I've never seen him in the series that you're talking about. So is he kind of like an attitude like that, like a chip on his shoulder? Is that his character? Like when he says, "Who's the popsicle?"
Yeah. Well, no, not so much as that.
He's not that funny.
No.
Okay.
He's that kind of loner, but you have to. I wish you watched X-Men and stuff,
right?
Because he has that kind of lonerish quality, but he also kind of plays around with his powers. Like, it's really his powers is where he becomes the comedian and stuff. You'll see him like do really cool, weird, quirky stuff, but for the most part, he's not that kind of just.
Well, in that first scene that he's in what is it, Days of
Future Past, where he runs around the room, and then the last place he ends up is on the couch eating a popsicle.
Oh, really?
Yes.
A red popsicle, yeah.
Huh.
So I don't know.
Sorry.
I don't know if that was purposeful or not, but that is what introduced him. So I'm sorry, Barry. Go ahead.
You go ahead.
I was just gonna say he has much more personality in that Quicksilver in the X-Men than the one in MCU, in my opinion.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a show off. That's kind of like with the playing with his magic. That like he's a show off.
Okay.
He's a way better Quicksilver. I mean, that's just the way it is and stuff. One thing that Fox got right.
Well, I mean, he may not look better though. If we can talk about Wanda being attractive, can we just talk about?
You're barking up the wrong tree with us.
The wrong.
We're not going to be like.
I mean, they could have gave me the other Pietro to give me something to look at. I mean, Vision's not much to look at.
Girlfriend, let me tell you.
Anyways, are there any final thoughts, like predictions? What do we see coming forward? What do we think we're going to see?
Because I want to talk about something else, Pietro related, and it relates back to the conversation that Wanda had with the boys about not being able to bring people back from the dead.
Yeah.
Because I'm not convinced that she was lying there. I know, Sam, you're on the side of she was lying about bringing people back from the dead and everything else. I'm not convinced that's the case. And I see you. Because now there's two ways to go with that. Wanda was lying or Wanda's telling the truth. And I think that there's a case that can be made for both sides of that. And it speaks to if Pietro isn't her Pietro, that, again, it's not her bringing someone back from the dead. It's not that happening at all. It's just she wants to believe that he's alive, or she wants to be able to talk to him, and that may be part of what's going on here.
I don't think Pietro's Pietro at all.
I absolutely agree with you.
And
100%.
I don't think Wanda wants him there at all, but Wanda has to play the role because this is part of the sitcom.
Yep.
Back to that conversation with the boys, though, I do not think at this point, after I've digested everything, I do not think that Wanda is the one who put Vision back together necessarily. I don't think she started all of this. I think Vision might have been there when it was started. But I do think that Wanda knows it can happen, and I do think Wanda knows she could probably do it. That's why I'm like, So I think she knows she can do it, but I don't think she's lying to the boys when she's saying there are rules we have to follow. But I think she's like, I really could, though.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why she had that look of guilt, because like when she's walking away from that scene, you just see her face and she's like, oh, maybe I should just bring their damn dog back.
But that's where a Wanda knows right from wrong. That's yeah.
I think she's coming to terms.
So I'm gonna add on to that guilt. I think it might be guilt from her knowing that Vision was brought back for her. I don't think, and this kind of goes into what Bill's theory about the split personality, the break. the Scarlet Witch may absolutely made a deal and may have made that happen, unbeknownst to Wanda. But Wanda is reaping the benefit of that, and she knows that at some point Vision was dead. And so when she's having that talk and she's having that guilt about certain rules should not be broken and stuff, I think she's being very honest and stuff, but she's being guilt about that because she's benefiting from those broken rules and stuff. So I don't think she knows that. I don't think she's aware that Vision was brought, that she may have had a hand in bringing Vision back. She just knows that Vision's back, and I know he's back from the dead, and I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth kind of guilt.
Do you think she knows that she likely has the power to be able to do that, though?
I don't know. If it's a split personality thing, then I don't think so, because she's the Wanda we've known throughout the MCU. She knows her powers has some limits and stuff. Like she's not very confident. You know, even when they are saying, everyone else is telling her, like, dude, you're the only one who can destroy the Mind Stone for Vision and stuff. I mean, she wasn't even confident about her own powers. So I don't think she thinks she could absolutely bring someone back. I think the Scarlet Witch, the split personality, the more powerful version, absolutely know what she can do.
Because look at the way she controlled every mind with the guns and point them back at Haywood. Like, not even a thought. Like,
another thing about that.
That's the Scarlet Witch.
When she controlled all of those other people's mind, did you notice the little glow in their eyes, the little red?
Yep.
That is something that's something that the townspeople do not have.
Correct.
Ooh.
So if she is controlling their minds and they have the red glowing eyes, but the townspeople don't have the red glowing eyes, is it her that is doing the controlling?
No.
Well, it could be inside the bubble. You're already under whoever's mind control. And I mean, even if it was Wanda, like, it wouldn't have to be where you necessarily have to have red glowing eyes because you're in this bubble. It could be like it's in the oxygen that you breathe, not exactly.
Why'd hers turn red then?
Because she was pissed off.
I think, I do think there's an outside force directing what's going on the inside. And there's a lot of prompting that is suggesting that. I mean, we saw in The Office with Norm, where the intercept. We didn't talk about that. But the intercept was blaming Wanda. That was another thing for Vision's benefit, and also asking for permission what to do next. We know that the director is there. The director of S.W.O.R.D., there's a S.W.O.R.D. intercept, is there. So why are they sending a communique out asking anyone for any permission for anything? Waiting for further instructions and stuff.
Was it asking for permission? I thought it was warning residents in the area that there was very high radiation.
Because of the Maximoff anomaly.
Yeah, it was saying, attention, Westview.
Waiting for further instructions.
I think it said wait for further instructions.
Did it?
I'm bringing up the transcript right now.
Perfect.
Yes, I am that big of a nerd, and I have.
Are we borrowing the EarB&B graphics department right now?
No.
I love it.
It is Vision. We don't need that. We're already cutting edge. People, S.W.O.R.D. top secret communique, authenticate, and then all say Dr. Darcy Lewis findings regarding Maximoff's anomaly. High levels of radiation present at the perimeter. Effect on Westview residents unknown.
Okay.
Please advise.
Okay, it's Darcy. So it's Darcy's notes, basically. It's Darcy noticing what's happening, and Darcy's sending it out asking for help.
And someone on the outside is somehow getting that on the inside to the people on the inside.
Yeah, I don't think Darcy's sending that out. I think that's probably Haywood sending that inside somehow.
Damn Haywood, he's a bastard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's not Darcy saying that, because they're referencing Darcy discovering the Maximoff thing.
Got it.
And I think it's definitely Hayward, just like the permission to show the footage, asking please advise for this. There's a bigger boss person that's interacting that's a part of this, that's what's going on. So I think that's what that's about.
That's Ralph.
It could be Ralph.
Ralph's got to come up, dude. Who's Ralph? She keeps mentioning Ralph.
If it said Ralph, oh my God.
If I had to pick someone to be Ralph, I would say the Grim Reaper, just because it's Agatha Harkness. But honestly, at this point, we have no clues to anything about who Ralph could be.
No.
It could be Tony Stark. I
It,
don't know. Everyone else comes coming back to life.
let me just say, she would not be complaining about her husband if her husband was Tony Stark.
All right, fair enough.
Girlfriend, I know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Tony.
Barry, that's when you're supposed to say yes, girl, yes.
I zoned out about a half hour ago.
So I'll just say this. We can honestly, I kid you not, and for those of you guys who are listening, we talk about this all the time and stuff. We give each other's theories there. We can talk. We have enough information to go for 5 hours and stuff here.
Yeah.
But I'll just say this. I'm at this point, I'm strapped in and I'm ready for what's about to come. Because I think it's going to be even more exciting than what we've experienced so far. So.
Mm-hmm. I am already dreading the end.
Right.
And just I looked up when Multiverse of Madness is supposed to come out, and I'm like, that is way too far away from the end of this series.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't supposed to be. It was supposed to be coming out this spring, but they're just filming it now.
Yeah. But it's so frustrating to know. I mean, although that's the same way when I walked out of Spider-Man or Spider-Man. When I walked out of Spider-Man last summer or whenever it was, and I was like, oh, they can't leave it like that with J. Jonah Jameson coming on and exposing Peter Parker as Spider-Man. Spoiler alert. Yeah, and I've waited for that, but man.
You'll be all right. They're going to Marvel's given us a lot of stuff in the meantime. We'll be okay. We'll make it through.
Barry, you want to wrap it up for us, buddy? Give us your thoughts on everything.
You guys are nerds.
I hear Kiwi. Kiwi is calling us nerds as well. Yeah.
There she is.
What is a kiwi?
His cat.
Oh, that's a kiwi. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, do you have anything else, Sam? This was your show tonight, so.
I did. It's not supposed to be my show, but you were late, mister. No.
Well, my kid's car broke down. I had to tow his damn car home.
I'm just teasing you. I did the intro. You'll be proud.
Right, perfect.
No, I just like David said, I'm excited. I'm ready for it. Give me more. And I'm still going to keep going on my name more theories until I get name more in the MCU.
We all have our theories. Wanda, this is not Wanda's fault. Wanda's amazing. That's my theory. So she can't be bad, but I think she's going to be probably. David, any final thoughts?
Do you want to talk about the website that should be?
Oh yeah. Well, yeah.
Right.
It's working except at my work. So it works anywhere except there. But we do have a new website. It's called waltsapt.com. So check that out. It's very cool. It's got little bios on each one of us there right now. And just getting that started. You can find us anywhere on Facebook at Walt's Apartment Podcast, Instagram, Walt's Apartment Podcast. Barry and Bill, where can we find you guys on your show?
Well, Barry, you want to take that?
Yeah, sure. You can find us. We actually go live every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on our Facebook page. And you can find us anywhere you find your favorite podcasts. Anywhere.
I didn't know you were bald, Barry.
You didn't know that? Really?
No.
Shawn.
What? Is that a bad thing?
And
just the way you said it.
I'm bald.
Y'all should check out the website, by the way, because we have a very special Walt's Apartment cast member on our website. So please check out our cast list and see that very special cast member.
Absolutely.
You don't want to miss it.
Sam, where can we find you on your social medias?
If I'm not at Walt's Apartment,
right,
I am at DisInsider Podcast on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook, and Samantha Lodecki. I'm not going to spell my name for you. Just
That's okay.
find me. It's easy to find me.
Just Just Samantha.
How about you, Mr. Blurred Hulk?
Yeah,
There you go.
I'm everywhere my kids set me up on social media where you can find me. So I think they have this new thing called Clubhouse. I'm not sure if I'm on there yet or
What
not.
the heck is that?
But yeah, I'm all over the place. I'm even back on MySpace. I'm keeping it retro.
Right on. So from all of us,
Barry is on a new social media platform. Barry, you want to tell them about your OnlyFans?
Oh yeah. I'll post a link to it on Walt's Apartments page later.
Oh, we appreciate that, buddy.
If he
Thank you so
allows me.
much. All right.
Okay.
I'll allow you to do anything. So from all of us here at the Marvel Tribe, EarB&B Podcast, I want to thank you all for, as Barry says, nerding out with us tonight. So hope you all have a great night, and we'll see you next week. Good night, everyone.
All right, bunch of nerds.